Good evening, I'm your host. Welcome to tonight's show, where we have Austin legend, Guy Forsyth.
With a stranger in a subway station, can't remember where I'm supposed to be. Pushing through the turnstile later with all the suits and navigators, I feel someone brush up next to me. And then I see you, and it blinds me with your mama's rhinestones and your thrift store finery. I've been wandering in the dark, looking for someone to find me. When I close my eyes, it's only you I'm thinking of. I don't know why I try to be so tough. A heart that will not break. It's not enough. It's not enough. What a beautiful mistake to fall in love. To fall in love. Plastic phones and plastic faces, haunting all the usual places, but felt and frayed is how I feel. In the crowd I'm still apart, the only one with the beating heart, with the tears and stains to make it real. You and I, we are the same, faded pictures in a broken frame, and I don't even know your name. When I close my eyes, it's only you I'm thinking of. I don't know why I try to be so tough, to be so tough. Fall in love, to fall in love.
Nice.
Oh, thank you very much.
Woo, Guy. I'm having a flashback here, a '90s flashback. I'm thinking back to the glory days, but only it's better now because I never got to talk to you then. You were too big, and I couldn't talk to you. I couldn't access you, but now we got access to you. So
that's right. My budget for bodyguards ran out. I used to hire these linebacker guys to knock over people who tried to talk to me.
Now we can say hi into HEB if we want to. That's awesome. Okay, so we went back to the '90s. Let's go back to the very beginning. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Denver, Colorado, and I'm resisting growing up as hard as I can.
Yeah.
So, but my childhood years were spent scattered across the continental U.S. My dad worked for TWA, the airlines, and it was sort of like being a high pay grade Army brat. I lived in, I was born in Colorado. I lived in New York. I lived in Connecticut. I lived in Kansas City. I lived in California. Lived another place in California, and then eventually we moved back to Kansas City. My dad started his own business, a company called Forsyth Travel Library, to sell travel books and maps to travel agents. A job made completely irrelevant now by the internet.
By phones.
But I grew up sometimes working in the in the warehouse, putting maps in envelopes and looking at guidebooks to places that I wanted to go.
Did you think that spawns your love for travel? Like, do you absolutely love to travel?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A friend asked me a question. He said, what do you think you got from your dad? What's something that you got from your father? And one thing that I definitely got is a love of travel and the feeling that you can travel. You can go places even if you don't speak the language and you don't understand. If you're willing to be empathetic and have your eyes open, you can figure out how to get by and how to go places. Yeah. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. I'm blown away. I travel a lot, and my friends are blown away that I go to all these places. I'm like, you know how easy it is to buy a plane ticket? Like, it's not that hard.
It's harder when you can't. It's harder when you can't afford the plane ticket.
Well,
but there's still ways.
I'm blessed.
There's still ways that you can get around. You know.
You can fly for cheap. Let's also talk about.
There's hitchhiking. There's there's also a train riding on trains, riding boxcars.
Do people train hop?
Absolutely.
No, come on.
Absolutely.
Really?
They do. There's all sorts of levels of desperation you may be unaware of, but people are willing to do almost anything to, and especially to travel, especially to try to travel someplace that might make their life or the life of their children's better for them.
Yeah. That's true. When did you get into music? Like, is there a song that you can think of that just blew your mind, that made you like, I got it, like music, I want to get a guitar? Like, can you think of any song, or maybe a song that might not be the first, but like something you can remember? Yeah,
definitely. I remember the first time that I heard Robert Johnson, and the first time I heard Robert Johnson was at the public library in Kansas City. I was I love music, and I was lucky enough when I was growing up. My parents had similar record collections. They met at the University of Arizona, and my brother was born a year and a half before me, and then I came along, and since my parents had duplicate copies of the same record on occasion, they would give my brother and I the scratchy one with a Fisher-Price record player. And so at the same age that I was learning how to drop the needle or the same age that I was learning how to stack blocks, I was also learning how to drop the needle on a record player.
Nice.
And so when I found out that the public library had free records you could just go in and listen to, I was ecstatic and went there and just started listening to everything that I could find. Shakespeare plays performed by the BBC's, great speeches of the 20th century. And one of the things that I just was lucky enough to stumble upon was the works of Robert Johnson. And in that music, I heard something totally different than the music that I was hearing on the radio, the music that I was hearing out of the machinery of the popular song, the star-making machinery of the popular song, to quote Joni Mitchell. And so I think hearing Robert Johnson's Crossroad Blues was just like, wow, there's something going on here that's very powerful, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to chase it.
I want some of
wherever it might lead.
Yeah. When did you was a guitar your first instrument? Did you play piano first? Like, what was your first musical experience?
I got I was a singer first. When absolutely, I remember when I was about 10 years old, knowing that I knew all the lyrics to songs like Time is a Bottle by Jim Croce, and going out to the playground to this one particular thing on the playground that had a domed cover that had a great reverb and just like listening to myself sing and just like, wow, this is really cool, you know. But I didn't have any examples of people who were playing music. My dad had played a little bit of banjo and ukulele in college. Nice. My mom, we had a piano for some time, and my mom had lessons, but she didn't play for her own enjoyment. It wasn't something that we did. I got a harmonica for Christmas from my dad when I was 16. It had an instructional book that came along with it. Country and Blues Harmonica for the Musically Hopeless by John Gindick, a harmonica teacher who's still working today.
Yeah, that sounds like a book I need to get. Because like we were talking earlier,
we can't tell you, the listener, to do anything, because that would be wrong. But I would say that for me, getting that book demystified a lot of the things about music and sort of took away a lot of the intellectual barrier that might exist for somebody who doesn't have training in music.
Yeah.
And I'm self-taught.
That's good. And your voice, no vocal lessons. You just nailed it.
I sang in choir. I sang in choir
Okay, so you got
in high school, and I did do some vocal lessons.
Okay.
Specific about like how to use the instrument.
Yeah.
And the best thing that did is it kept me from hurting my own voice.
Yeah.
Because I've known lots of performers who, in their career, ended up getting nodes, wearing like putting calluses on their vocal cords, which is tragic for somebody who's trying to make a career as a singer. So
I don't think people that are not musicians understand the microphone. You can sing, soft like this. You can sing whatever. They'll pump you up. Like, you don't have to sing loud. That's what the microphone is for.
Yeah. Let the microphone do the work. I see that. But I also like. But there's another side to that, and that a lot of my favorite musicians and the folks that made me want to play, most of them that I heard on recordings as opposed to saw live, they existed in a time before the sort of microphone thing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Bessie Smith sang to reach the person in the back of the room. It was clear
project.
in the way that she was doing it, as she was trying to reach people in the room. And in the band that I started in the 1990s, the Asylum Street Spankers, we decided we would try to do this without the benefit of demon electricity at all, and eschewing all microphones and all amplifiers, and just trying to use that opportunity to try to take people into a different place that requires active listening. There's a skill that's pretty much gone in this day and age.
Attention span is what? TikTok,
Sorry,
15
what were you saying?
second? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to get out of the way. Euro, if you can, try to remember to intro each song, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to do it.
Guy Forsyth, everybody.
I'm going to try to remember. I'm trying to remember to enter the song. Oh, yeah. So I have a EP coming out, and it's entitled Writer. And we will do a special release show at the Vortex Theater on November 4th. And if you check out my website, and Facebook, GuyForsyth.com. I'm Guy Forsyth Band on Instagram and everywhere else that bands are bought and sold. We'll let you know where that is accessible to you. And this is the title track. This is a song that I wrote with my friend Mark Addison. This is a song about being haunted. Something whispers in my ear, 1,000 accusations no one wants to hear, a laundry list of reasons to be dissatisfied. You know you've got a rider when you carry this inside. I was hanging in the graveyard, tapping on the stone, widow's wedding dress, bought with stolen bones. I spun away the moment I thought I was alone. I forgot the blind spot, I put the rider home. Wash yourself in cold salt water, burn those candles down. Shed that skin he's hiding in, shed that skin, scrape it clean, 'cause that rider's gonna ride you round and round, round and round and round and round. That rider's gonna ride you round and round till you put that rider down, till you put that rider down. I can see you got a rider you picked up along the way. Don't know where he's going, don't know how long he'll stay. Got his own agenda, he's got somewhere to be. Got yourself a rider, and now you won't take me. I was hanging in the graveyard with a tin cup telephone, picking out a requiem to those beneath the stone. I was a fool unguarded, opened up to the unknown. I failed to heed the warnings, I took a rider home. Wash yourself in cold salt water, burn those candles down. Said that skin he's hiding in,
shed that skin, scrape it clean. That rider's gonna ride you round and round, round and round and round and round. That rider's gonna ride you round and round. Hey, you put that rider down. That rider's gonna ride you round and round, round and round and round and round. That rider's gonna ride you round and round, round and round and round and round. That rider's gonna ride you round and round, round and round and round and round. That rider's gonna ride you round and round till you put that rider down, till you put that rider down. Put that rider down.
Thank you very much. As I said before, that's a song that I wrote with my friend Mark Addison, and we'll be on the release Rider. That is our record release is on November 4th. And here's another song that's on it. This is and that last one's kind of a ghost story. This is more of a horror story.
As a child I knew that I would take a bullet for you. But in my life I've never seen someone so lucky grow so mean. I wonder what it was that turned you on. A point and click solution and the problem's gone. You always liked your hands clean and to manifest the promise of a new machine. Now there's an Armalight rifle underneath your bed, brass bright jacket and a heart of lead. Backhand of God, I heard it said, rifle underneath your bed. Now by all accounts your run has been good. No one to tell you what you should. You wear the boots around this town and no one dares to come around. Doesn't look like you get much sleep, and what you do is fast and cheap. You dream of what they do to you. It's the same as you would too. Now there's an Armalight rifle underneath your bed, brass bright jacket and a heart of backhand of God, I heard it said, and Armalight rifle underneath your bed. Black rifle has its say, ends arguments a block away. Hollow points, talking heads, blue and gray, blue and red, blue and gray, blue and red, misunderstood and overfed. Too much hate to see what you might lose, and not love enough to let you choose. jacket and a heart of lead. Backhand of God, I heard it said, I don't know that rifle underneath your bed. Armalight rifle underneath your bed. Glass bright jacket and a heart of lead. Backhand of God, I heard it said, that Armalight rifle underneath your bed. That Armalight rifle underneath your bed. That Armalight rifle underneath your bed.
Thank you. That song is called Armalight. Armalight is, of course, the Armalite in the AR-15. And that's a song that I wrote. This is another song that I wrote. This is another song that I wrote specifically for the release that's coming up, Rider. And once again, I wrote this song with my friend Mark Addison. Great writer, great producer, great engineer, musical genius, and all about mad scientist. Professor Feathers, as they call him. And he challenged me in the writing of this record to write about my own personal experiences. There's a lot of different ways to write songs. You can write songs out of your own personal experiences, or you can try to find ways to use poetry, metaphors, all these things to try to reach people. But this is pretty much just how I got this job. This is how I got here. This is all true.
A little wood, a little wire, small thunder amplifier, slight magic made by hand. It was something I could understand. I got nothing from the place I was, school days just because somebody wants you in an office chair, working why they don't see you there. Well, I have tasted the sacred wine, I felt the tug when the stars align. There is only one God I know, that's the one yelling, go cat go. So get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it flow. Don't you think it's time to love the things you can't control? If you don't let it, you'll never know. Little Fisher-Price record player, transistorized and price soothsayer, scratchy vinyl from my parents' time, holy relics of rhythm and rhyme. I never had a lesson I taught myself from a book from the library shelf. It held secrets that I need, and I would play till my fingers bleed. On a guitar from a friend of mine who lost both arms to a power line, taught me how to tune it with his feet, and that kind of love just can't be beat. So get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it show. Don't you think it's time to learn the things you can't control? If you don't let it, you'll never know. I'm here to testify, I know I'm a lucky guy, just to have a chance to sing and play. With me all the time, and I just wanna give it away. That's what brings me here, tickling your ear. I hope you'll play with me, invest in ecstasy. Decide what you're about, sit and wait your sentence out, where you can live life like a song, and we can sing along. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it show. Don't you think it's time to learn things you can't control? If you don't let it, you'll never get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, let it show. Don't you think it's time to learn things you can't control? If you don't let it, you'll never know. If you don't let it,
Nice. Man. I got so many questions. I'm going to try to, get them all in here.
Go.
First off, let's talk about that guitar. I know we talked off air, but for people that did not hear the conversation, which is none of them.
Yeah, we tried to be loud, but it just didn't get through. This is a National Resophonic guitar. I purchased this guitar from my friend Steve James, one of the greatest acoustic guitar players that has blessed this planet. He just passed last year. Was an amazing guitar teacher and an amazing guitar teacher, and I felt like every time I picked up a guitar, I should probably be sending him a check. So I went to him directly and I bought this guitar from him because he sold guitars for the National Guitar Company. And this is a resonator guitar. It's a little bit different from the normal wood box guitar because it has under this metal pie plate looking assembly a aluminum cone that acts like the speaker in your stereo, except instead of a magnet vibrating that speaker, the strings themselves press down upon a biscuit-like assembly and press that cone into a recessed lip on the inside of this machine, and it creates a kinetically amplified guitar invented by a Czechoslovakian immigrant by the name of John Dopiera, who came to the United States in the 1920s with the idea of a way to kinetically amplify an instrument, sort of similar to the Stroh violin. He sold that patent to the National Guitar Company and worked for them for a period of time, and eventually left and started his own company, the Do Opry Brothers, where he had to reinvent his patent, turning it upside down and using a spider assembly and naming the company the Dobros. Dobros.
I have never had a more perfect answer to any question. It's like you rehearsed that. That was amazing. That was more information than you'll ever want to know about a guitar, but that was awesome. Awesome. Now, how about your songwriting process? I know, you've been writing for a while and you talked about writing with this other person, but at this point, you've written tons of songs. Do you have a method? Are you like one morning you'll wake up and think of a riff, or is it more like you'll think of a lyric? Do you have any, regular stuff that leads you to a song?
Inspiration is great, and sometimes inspiration just knocks on your door, and it's undeniable, and you just are best if you just get out of the way and let that happen when it happens. But also, there is the expression that inspiration is for amateurs, and if you're trying to be a professional songwriter and you're just waiting for inspiration, you'll wait. But I find that if I'm focused and I'm trying to write, and I'm making time to hang out underneath the song tree, which means not doing anything else, which can be a challenge, honestly, because we monkeys, we love to be distracted.
Oh God!
We love shiny things. All this is true. But if I make time to hang out under the song tree, and also in co-writing with other people that can be focused in that way and hold the space until something happens, it will happen. It may or may not be good, but the trick is you just keep writing until you'll eventually get something that works, that you feel good about.
And is this the writing tree? Is this metaphorical? Like I'm picturing a tree in your
No,
backyard.
There's
Do you have a meditation type?
I can't tell you where it is, but there is only one song tree, and yes, it's absolutely real.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. The EP. Let's talk about the EP real quick before we forget.
Yes.
How many songs and what are they?
It's 4 songs, and it is it'll have the song Rider that I played, and the song Armalight that I played, and the song Get Up, the last one that I just played.
Yeah.
So all 3 of those songs will be on it. And at this point, I'm now, while talking to you, attempting to retune my guitar so that I can play the 4th one, which is also on it. Yeah,
awesome.
It's a 4-song EP, and my plan is to do this EP and then do another EP and then do another EP and combine them into a full-length release. But we will be selling copies of the EP as well. But primarily, people are consuming music through the digital the digital platforms, and we certainly want to make that available to them because we want. One wants people to hear one song.
Yes.
And that is the way. Never been a better time to be a consumer of music. It's a glorious
You can go on YouTube
age.
and get stuff for free.
Yeah,
we had to go to the record store when we were kids.
It's a glorious golden age that it has a fabulous machine just churning out music, and all you've got to do is throw bags of lubricant in the forms of artists into it, and they'll be ground up and spit out in the form of music. So I mean, it works great for everybody except for for those annoying artists that keep wanting to eat over and over again. What a shame.
Yeah.
You know, half of Americans have never paid for music at all.
The younger ones.
Well,
because I know I paid.
I'm sure
thousands,
you did, and
Yeah.
you know, I know I did too. But a lot of people today who have to purchase a smartphone and purchase a service and stuff like that, they're already paying the discretionary amount of money that they might have had to spend at an early age and have spent on music. But now they've already spent that money, and they sort of get the music for what they perceive is for free because of a backdoor deal done between the publishing industry and the tech industry.
Yeah. Well, and there's YouTube. You can just.
Yeah, right. It's just right there. So easy.
Speaking of
A
consuming.
victimless crime, certainly.
Speaking of consuming music, I got to hear this whole. How did you, when you moved here, which by the way, he's from Kansas, which I'm from Kansas, so I've discovered that.
Moved here from Kansas City, January 10th of 1990.
A glorious year. And how did you doing a residency at Clifford, like that's a story that is, you know, how did that happen? That's got to be interesting.
When I first moved to town, I knew two people in Austin, both of whom immediately moved away, and so I was pretty much just on my own. And so I consider that the start of my adult life. I just turned 21, and so I worked as a street musician down on 6th Street and in front of. On Guadalupe and over on the West Mall of UT. And I would go to open mics at Chicago House and blues jams at Joe's Generic Bar and Pearl's Oyster Bar, and sort of worked my way up the food chain, working down on 6th Street sometimes, 7 days a week, occasionally 2 shifts. So, I might play a happy hour gig from like 5 to 9, and then carry my amplifier across the street to do a 10 to 2 gig or a 10 to 3 gig during the period of time that Austin had a 3 o'clock mandatory cutoff. So I think that's how you build your chops as a musician is by playing a lot, getting the opportunity and finding out what works and what doesn't. And I'd done that for a while when Clifford Antone asked, do you want to make a record? Do you want to record? And I signed a deal with Clifford Antone, and it was not the deal that I would suggest any young musician sign, because I did it without the benefit of a lawyer. Yeah. If you're a young musician out there and you're trying to figure out how to make your way in the world, my best advice to you is to get a business degree. Not because you necessarily want to do business stuff, but it's just self-defense. Mm-hmm. You're going to need to do that. You need to have that as an artist, because people will look at you like a resource.
Yeah.
They'll strip mine you if they can.
Yeah.
They'll take what they can. Now, I don't have a bad opinion of Clifford Antone. But shortly after that, he got busted moving a tractor trailer full of marijuana and had to sell the contract along with all of his possessions in the music industry. And he sold that to another group of people that ended up running Antone's records. And they didn't really know what they were doing. And so so when my first record came out, they also went bankrupt at the same time. And when my second record came out, they went bankrupt again. My third record, oh, you guessed it.
Bankrupt again.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to a happier subject. let me get you peppy again.
Yeah.
Tell me about how did you form and how did the Asylum Street Spankers come about?
Oh, well, so I was already working as a musician, and I was playing full time in the blues band, the Guy Forsyth band, but I still had a lot of music that I loved that I wasn't getting an opportunity to play. We were at that time pretty much specifically a blues band. We were trying to do just the hardest Roadhouse 4-piece drums, bass, guitar, harmonica, vocals band that we possibly could. Just trying to distill this down into the
purest form.
The most powerful thing that we could do. But I also love the music from the pre-war period, that sort of at the dawn of the era of recording, when wire recordings and Edison's work and I really wanted to play that music, and so I had a vision of trying to start a community-based project that wouldn't have one particular leader, but rather be a group of people that loved roots music and got together, try to play the things that they wanted to play. And I was able to to do that by the amazing talent in this town
Yeah.
and the folks who came together on it. Christina Mars, Whammo, Pops Bayless, John Dodson, the Mysterious John, Kevin Smith, Jimmy Dean, like just amazing musicians.
Yeah.
Olivier Giraud, Eamon McLaughlin. These just killer players. Dr. Sick, just like these amazing players just continued to show up, and that project ballooned and kept getting stranger and weirder. And we would play without the benefit of electricity, no electricity whatsoever.
Well, with that guitar, you don't need it.
Yeah, because this is a machine for live performance, and does some fun things. So this is
It's kind of, that reminds me of Renaissance-y. And by the way, I did some research on you. What is this about you being a stuntman at the Renaissance Fair? Like, I guarantee you no one knows this story. I don't even know this, but I'm going to ask him this.
Sure.
How are your knees today because of this?
They're still working.
Okay,
I
good.
didn't lose an eye, which is that's amazing.
Yeah.
All sorts because I worked as a stuntman. I did a comedy show where I played Robin Hood, and I did a show with this guy who was much bigger than me who played Little John, and it was done on a bridge over water, and of course it happens that I get thrown in the water after getting beat up, and I would do that show multiple times a day, and
awesome.
it was great, and it was very much slapstick comedy like Larry Moe and Curly, and it was lots of fun to do. But it was also it's hard, Like it's like I would perform for 2 days and heal for 5. But while I was doing that, I did the Texas Renaissance Fair. I didn't actually do the show at TRF, but I ended my season there, and I went down to 6th Street and went down to Joe's Generic Bar, and there was a band playing blues there, and I was like, oh wow, hey, I love these guys, and I had my harmonic with me, and I was definitely that guy by the side of the stage with a harmonica. And I want to apologize to the whole world at large for being that guy by the side of the stage with the harmonica, because that was me, I confess, because I wanted it so bad. And I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody who was showing me what to do or telling me what to do. I was just trying to find my way. And at that particular gig, I was like, hey, you guys are great. And there wasn't a lot of people in the crowd, so I was able to talk. It's like, hey, could I do a song with you guys? And they're like, yeah, this is hour 4 of a 6-hour slot, so if you'd like to sing a song, you're welcome to.
I'll go get a beer.
And I called a tune, and I called kind of a little bit of an obscure Bo Diddley song, and they knew it, and we played it, and it was great. And I was like, and they're working for tips, and I was like, I'm already working for tips, and I could do this. I could play for 5 days and heal for 2.
So
it's
a little bit easier.
Yeah, so it seemed like just a better way to do it.
There you go. I could stand here and talk forever, but I'm going to let you do another 50-minute set. We'll come back and we'll talk some more music.
All right.
There you go.
Shuts down the road. We got rolling blackouts, rocking Texas on account of all this cold. There ain't no salt, ain't no plow, barely more than corn insulating the house. Those folks in the high lines ain't got the bright lights. Those on the edges are struggling at night. Is yet to come. 6 days in, down to 6 degrees. Cold in the bedroom, cold between the sheets. That glass by my head froze when the cold wind blows. I can hear my name, I hear it calling me. player, one better I have yet to see. I would sit by the keys while he tried to school me about hard times on the road with old JT. But that light has gone out, and no matter how I shout, Texas has only blue silence for me. When the pipes all freeze and you want to leave, but ice shuts down the road, we got rolling blackouts, rocking Texas on account of all this cold. Thank you. So my mom used to have an antique store in Clear Lake, Texas. Clear Lake, Texas is where NASA control is. So when you see old footage of them doing space shots and they talk to Houston control, they're really talking to Clear Lake, which is off of I-45 in between Houston and Galveston. And so my mom, who had sisters around there, moved there after living in Kansas City, and she started her little antique store. And her little antique store was on Space Center Boulevard, creating a nice collision of ideas. I used to go with her sometimes when she would go to auctions and estate sales to try to find instruments that she might, or rather to find things she might sell. But I would go hoping to find instruments, hoping that somebody would come out with an old guitar case and just be like, oh yeah, it's been under Granddad's bed for 50 years. I don't know why anyone would want a metal guitar. Why don't you just take it? Never happened. I did encounter a lot of instruments, and I did start buying them because they were cheap, but they were also broken. Because generally by the time that they get to an estate sale like that, they've fallen into a type of disrepair. So I figure I could start my own Applebee's and just stick them up on the wall if I wanted. But one of the things that I did find was a plastic banjo, a plastic 5-string banjo made by Harmony. An entry-level banjo, a banjo for if you couldn't afford the wooden banjo, a plastic banjo, a stretch gourd instrument made by space-age polymers. This is a song that I found inside of it. Just across the highway, there's the Army store. Every time I see it, I remember what it's for. My brother signed up so he could make his stake. They sent him to Iraq, it's just a year and a day in the showdown. He was shot from the rear, they make those bullets 16 miles from here. All they ever wanted was a piece of ground. Now it's 3 feet wide, 6 feet down. All they ever wanted was this whole piece of ground. And I ain't ever gonna leave my hometown. Church window caught in the corner of my eye. Jacob's ladder shining out of the sky. Well, I'm dreaming of Susie with the yellow hair. When I was small, she used to live around here. River Valley Baptist on the White Elm Road. I kissed her in the choir when she was 12 years old. Susie went to school, but I just sort of hung around. She came back and burned the damn church down. Susie went to school, but I just sort of hung around. And I ain't ever gonna leave my hometown. Well, there's a
to go to meeting about 10:30. And I put on my best again. I got a half tank of gas, beer in a can. We're meeting back up Johnson's land, and we tried to get home by breakfast time. Get the whites and the wash, get them out of the line. For the stasis, you know the red turns to brown. Rifles in the rack before I hit town. For the stasis, you know the red turns to brown. And I ain't ever gonna leave my hometown. Where there's an Amoco pipeline, it cuts through the town. Feed the rusted mosquitoes, suck the blood from the ground. I watch the sun go down through a hole in the plane. And then they left where they lay the power line. That's a VA4. You tell by the sound, but I ain't ever gonna leave my hometown. Thank you. It's been a long, 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 long time. It's been a long, 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 long time. When I was a kid, I used to draw airplanes, with stars and bars shooting down airplanes adorned with hammers and sickles. I bought 100 water guns so I could save the world, saving my lunch money and stealing my father's quarters, dimes, and nickels. I discovered religion watching Luke Skywalker rescue Princess Leia and destroy the Death Star by letting go and closing his eyes. And I devoured comic books. 3-colored mythology taught me right and wrong. And if you believe, you can fly. It's been a long, 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 long time. Been a long, 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 long time. I remember hearing songs about trains and feeling the rush of wonder, the possibility the world was infinite and accessible, all at the same time. And then there were songs about highways and Born to Be Wild and Little Red Corvette, and the road went on forever in my mind. And now the highways are jammed bumper to bumper with stinking SUVs and 2-story pickup trucks. They can drive over anything except the 2-story pickup truck right in front of it. Now all the highways look the same. Starbucks and Walmarts jam the feeder roads. We don't live around this mess, we live under it. It's been a long, 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 long time. Been a long, 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 long time. Now the songs are about gangsters and guns, and the TV speeds by at 100 deaths an hour, and everybody wants to pull off the crime of the century, steal $200 gazillion, enough to buy myself an island and build a real honest-to-God train on it for no one but me, and get away with it, get away with it. We Americans are freedom-loving people, and nothing says freedom like getting away with it. We went from Billy the Kid to Richard Nixon, Enron, Exxon, O.J. Simpson. We used to dream about heroes, but now it's just how to beat the system. So where do we go to dream now? I'm on the roof of the project, streaming through the city lights, trying to see if they've built golden arches on the roofettes, self-medicated, half-sedated, trying our best to be distracted and living life according to the TV set. Corporations owning nations, telling us don't change the station. It's the only safe way to win the human race. I wonder how the world sees us. Powerful without equal, rich beyond compare. A spoiled, drunk 15-year-old waving a gun in their face. Man,
Well, so I got a new favorite song from you because it was Writer. Now it's that. What is the name of that song?
Oh, that's called Long, Long Time.
And what album
And
is-
it's on a record called Love Songs, For and Against.
Okay. I'm going to look that up. And that's on your website.
Yeah.
By the way, let's give the people a website.
GuyForsyth.com.
Perfect.
There's.
You could sell cars with that voice. Speaking of, you have a great, I'm guessing it's because you're a songwriter, but you're a good storyteller as well. Does that come from,
Well,
did you take any?
No, you honor my teachers, but not like I took specific classes. But almost all of the great performers of the past century were great storytellers because that's what the job is. And my favorite performers that I would go see, like I mentioned, Steve James.
Yeah.
Steve James would enjoy just getting to hold forth at any opportunity, and it was the type of stuff that I wanted to hear. So
Right.
it seemed to work really well for
Yeah.
me. But
Well, you take that for granted though, because you say it's easy, or you say a lot of people do it, but there's a lot of musicians that don't. So they just sing their song, they're not storytellers.
well, I think that I don't know if it's nature or nurture. I don't know if
Okay.
some people are born being good storytellers or if it's a skill. I do think it's a skill you can learn.
Right.
Because you can learn fundamentals of how to tell a story.
Yeah.
They're, the hero's journey.
Right,
Right.
right.
It's just like,
Speaking of hero's journey, you talked earlier about the career, and we talked about the height of '90s stuff. Did your career financially equal your career, status wise? Because you were.
oh no!
Yeah. Okay. So now.
Not in any way.
Okay. So was it better then or worse now? Like what?
Well, I would say
because have we come a long way, or?
musicians are still getting paid the same amount now as they were in 1990. Let's be
God.
clear,
Okay.
absolutely
Okay.
clear. There's not more money in the business now. There's less, and that's because it's become increasingly difficult to monetize music, and that's because the value of music has been devalued by the tech industry, setting a standard that because they could control the market, not because they were producing content, but they could control access to it. And now, you used to be able to buy a car that had a CD player. You used to have a CD player that would come with your computer. Now, technology is moving on, and those things are kind of obsolete at this point, but it becomes harder and harder for a individual to sell music, to be able to put it out there, and to try to dictate the terms and conditions under which they will work.
Yeah.
But if you're a songwriter, just like if you're a poet, you don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Obviously there are much smarter things that I could do. So many smarter things that I could do. But this is what I'm for.
Yeah. When you're not doing this, do you listen to any what do you consume when you're at home? Is it different than what you play?
Mainly video games.
Okay.
Mainly video games.
Okay. Oh, what's a good one?
A good video game?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. I remember that one.
yeah.
I haven't played video games forever, but yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077.
I'll have to Google these.
All sorts of things. World of Warships. Yeah, I'm totally wasting my time. But I do like
No, it's
to.
good to have hobbies.
Definitely. And I like to listen to podcasts and books when I'm driving, and there are all sorts of different ways that I consume art and consume content.
And I also know that you do Tai Chi.
Young Cell Tai Chi, and I did that for a very long time. It still informs things that I do now, even though I'm not teaching now.
Yeah.
All right. This is a song that I wrote. This is entitled Snakes Around My Trailer. And I wrote it because there were snakes around my trailer. Part of the price of living here in paradise. There are snakes around my trailer. I found a scorpion in my bed. Snakes around my trailer. Found a scorpion in my bed. Oh, if Texas has its way, I could wake up dead. Black mold underneath the sheetrock, paper wasps in the eaves. You know, I try to keep up with the upkeep. An honest man may be deceived. Oh, God help the child set upon my feet. Now it's a jacked up day where I wake up and I'm already late. Walk through the front door, I wonder what I run for. My faith, if Texas had its way, well, I'd be gone without a trace. 100 right behind me to take my place. Hot sun working in the red clay, and it cracks like a chain. Hell, in August, Texas, fools parade for rain. Oh, you dumb sons of bitches, hurricane. 'Cause if it wasn't trying to kill you, it wouldn't be Texas. If you ain't got the fight, you won't make it here. See that cowboy hat right about Texas? Then again, that way wind from here to here. You won't make it here. See that cowboy hat, running that Texas, man, that way grin from here to here. Now it's a jacked up day where I wake up and I'm already late. Through the front door, I wonder what I run for. My fate in Texas had its way, I'd be gone without a trace. 100 right behind me to take my place. There's snakes around my trailer. I found a scorpion in my bed. If Texas has its way, there will be bloodshed. Oh, and if trouble makes a man, I'm a thoroughbred. Texas. Yeah. This is a song that was recorded by Polk Miller back in the 1920s. Actually, some of the very first recorded music. And one of the interesting things about this particular act is that the leader of the band was a white gentleman who had been an artillery lieutenant in the Civil War on the side of the South, and he performed with a all-black four-piece quartet of singers, and so he would have been one of the first integrated acts. And he seemed to have had a real change of heart and seen the better path at that point, and recorded some really wonderful music. And this is maybe not one of those things, but I'd like to do it anyway because it makes me very happy. So. I've got an old maid sister, crazy over cats. She wears her hair just pasted down because she's afraid of rats. She's got
the neighbors talking. They don't think she's right, 'cause you can hear her calling cats at any time of night. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Come on, puss, come on, puss. Just a little bit, that's enough of it. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow, 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 meow. That's the pussycat ride. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Come on, puss, come on, puss. Just a little bit, that's enough of it. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow, 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 meow. That's the pussycat ride. Underneath my window at 12 o'clock at night, they either serenade the moon or else they'll start a fight. My cat lady sister calls them all by name, but she's gonna lose a pussycat if she keeps up that game. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Come on, puss, come on, puss. Just a little bit, that's enough of it. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, meow, 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 meow. That's the pussycat ride.